Hello. Oh,
Hello.
hello, Irina.
Hello, Cyrille, and thanks for having me here.
It's a pleasure to have you today. Because of you, I had to learn so much about cryptocurrencies and ETF and stuff like that. So it's
I'm
already
so
a
sorry
good
about
thing.
this. You might know more than me at this point.
I don't know. We are going to talk about it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the people who are present. And we are going to talk about you and to talk about Bitpanda, of course, and to see how it works together. So for the people who don't know you, today you are Chief Growth Officer at Bitpanda. It's now 1 year, almost 1 year that you are Bitpanda. Before you were at Revolut, so also in like new banking way, 3 years. And before that, Uber, where you were lead of marketing in Romania, 2 years. So always small companies. You like small companies, I see that. And I like to know what people did before, like their training. So you studied economics in Bucharest, and then you did a lot of certificates, specializations in ESCP in France, Harvard, Stanford.
Yeah, I have three. So I have three master's program, three master degrees after graduating studies. I'm a nerd to set the expectations straight. And then I'm constantly learning something. So I did a couple of exec education programs at Harvard, and now I'm in an exec education program at Stanford, which takes a lot of my time.
So you do that and working at the same time?
Yes, yes.
So it's a good
I feel it's the only way we can learn, because if we don't get, for example, myself, I'm a passionate reader. I'm a nerd, as I said from the beginning. But if I'm not enrolled in a formal program with very clear deadlines, you're always you're always postponing things, because there are always things that are more important. But then once you enroll in a program, pay for a program, and you have the deadlines coming, otherwise you fail the course, you're sticking to them.
Yeah, you're right. How much is it for Stanford? No, it's a private question. You will tell me later. I'm interested. So Bitpanda now, so we know you better. Bitpanda is an Austrian company founded in 2014. You recently raised like 170 million. So you have a valuation like 1.2 billion. So it's the first Austria's unicorn. Congratulations. 1.2 billion, not bad, not bad. Thanks to you, I guess.
No, it's our valuation is in fact 4.1 billion now, because we've raised another round end of last summer.
Wow.
But I wouldn't take credit for that, because it's the work that my colleagues have already done before I came on board.
Okay. Okay, so it's even better. Nice.
Yeah,
so
and what we're doing in very, very simple terms is that we're an investment platform. So basically, we offer people the opportunity to invest in a wide range of digital assets, soon to be the widest range of digital assets available for European people, depending on their budget and risk appetite. So that means that they can start from as little as €1 to invest their assets, and they can choose assets depending on their risk profile. They can choose to invest in crypto, which is more volatile, or stocks, or ETFs, or precious metals, if they want just a way to save their money from inflation. Yeah, so that's what we're doing, and we're indeed an Austrian company and Austria's first unicorn.
So it was exactly what I was supposed to say, but it's good because you do it so better than me, Irina.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, you're right. You do it better. You do it every day. I think you know the speech better than me. But it's what I was supposed to say. And also, just to be honest, I opened a Bitpanda account yesterday to better understand. It was quite easy to do it. I must admit that it was very fast. And as I'm not a specialist, I'm waiting. I will tell you in 2 months what happened. So what is, just to end with that, what is the business model? How do you make money in transactions?
So the fees are clearly displayed when you're investing. It's basically a commission whenever you're trading. Okay. And it differs depending on the asset type, but you see it clearly displayed in app when you're making a trade or on the web platform.
All right. So I know you know this question. I watched many interviews from you, but I re-asked this question. what is the job of a growth officer? Because it seems to have 1 billion definitions. I would say it's a mix between strategy, marketing, community management, PR, and vision of everything. So according to your experience, what is your job?
Yeah, so it depends on who you're asking. Indeed, like if you're talking growth now and you ask 10 persons, you're getting definitely 10 different answers. So what is my job and what I'm working on is delivering sustainable growth for the company all along the funnel. That means that we start with user acquisition on all the channels. So we're talking organic user acquisition, we're talking performance marketing, we're talking partnerships, we're talking referrals, but we don't stop here because growth is not only attracting users, it's also making sure that those users are actually using your product. Hence, we go further down the funnel to conversion. And then it's also retention and it's engagement of those users. How my team is structured today, how my department is structured today is in marketing, user acquisition, comms, the market teams, which we name growth, and international expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work, and it's also working closely with product because we're working really close with the product teams.
So it's how many people working on the growth team?
So right now it's about 100.
Just for the growth.
Yes,
okay.
Just for growth.
But who are your main interlocutors in the company? Who are you working with, like the CEO, the CTO, the CMO, all of them?
So there's no CMO. Basically, my role is doing it's also covering what the CMO role should do. And you're often going to see in some tech companies that the CMO role does exactly this role, which can be called CMO or can be called CGO. Mm-hmm. So I'm working closely with, personally, I'm working closely with CEOs. I'm working closely with product. I think that's the closest working relationship because we need to work closely together. Product marketing is also part of what we do, and we work closely with product. But as key stakeholders, I think it's literally everyone in the company, because from product and tech to HR to finance to operations, everything we touch base with everyone in the company.
So it's a key role.
It's very cross-functional, yes, and it's key because it takes care of the growth of a company. Yeah,
and talking about keys, Cosmina asked me to ask you, what are your OKRs when you are a growth officer? How do you measure your results?
So I think it comes down to monthly active traders and this is something that's always changing. And the key question is, what's your North Star metric? And the North Star metric is to deliver sustainable growth for the company. And then we're looking at monthly active traders on one end and revenue generated on the other end. But then if you look at every of the departments, we have the marketing department, whose North Star metric is brand awareness and delivering brand love. Then we have the user acquisition department, where we have all things partnerships, performance, and here the North Star metric is new active traders. So the users that actually sign up and do their first trade, activate as users. Then we have comms, and in communication, we look after positive sentiment and share of voice. Then we have growth, our market teams, whose main goal is to deliver monthly active traders and revenue growth in their own markets. Mm-hmm. So it's a mix, but all cascades down from generating revenue from the company, because I think that's a mistake we often do in tech. We look at growth and we say, hey, I'm measuring growth in terms of the number of signups. But let's be honest, no one cares about the number of signups that you have, because in the end, it's about the growth. It's revenue growth. It's what you can actually measure and how you cascade down that to different departments and different parts of your team.
Mm-hmm. But you talk about brand love and brand awareness. How do you measure that? Do you put it in the same bag? Or don't you measure it because you can't? How do you measure?
No, there's no such thing as we can't measure metrics. All the metrics can be measured. And whenever I always said, I just jumped off a call. The reason I was exactly at 5 p.m. Here and not earlier, when we were talking measurement. And the truth is that in marketing, some things are clearly measurable, and then it's math. But there are a lot of marketing metrics where it's a combination between art and science, because you need to understand the science and the math. that, but you need to figure out the best way and the best proxies to actually measure. So in terms of brand awareness, I think it's fairly easy because there are brand trackers that you can do in order to actually measure brand awareness, brand preference, brand consideration in markets, and we're doing it like this. In terms of brand love, you can look at the Net Promoter Score of your customers as a proxy.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking about it. Do you do communication, mass communication, like sponsoring a sport club or stuff like that for the image?
We are engaged in a couple of sponsorship agreements. So right now, I think the biggest one is sponsoring the Italian rugby team, the Italian Rugby Federation.
So challenger.
Which is, yeah, and it's a very interesting story because they grew from being the underdog to being winners, which is 100% brand fit to Bitpanda.
Mm-hmm. And they play with the biggest team, so
yeah. And
sometimes they win.
Yeah.
Cool. So now talking about the product, very simple question. How is 2022 going? We are at the middle of the year. How is it working today?
So I think the product is, we're doing a lot of product releases. We've recently launched staking. We have a bunch of new products and features lined up for our customers, and we're sure they are going to get excited. Other than that, what can I say? I think we're all reading the news. It's not the best year. It's not the best year out there for anyone. There are fears of recessions. There are inflationary tendencies. The market sentiment has changed from neutral to negative somewhere end of March, beginning of April. But we're still growing, and we're still growing strong and growing sustainably.
When you say that the market changed like in a negative way for all the cryptocurrencies business, you mean?
No, I'm talking about investment in general. We saw stock market crashes as well. We see investors withdrawing from stocks and ETFs as well. I think that when you're in the investment market, you already know this and you're accustomed with this. The market is always cyclical. It's bull runs and bear runs. It's positive market sentiment and negative market sentiment. And these always alternate. I think the challenge as a marketer is that the marketing strategy that you have during the bull run is completely different to the marketing strategy that you have during the bear run. So again, it's a combination of art and science to switch from the two strategies. And it's a matter of agility, being able to switch fast from one strategy to the other. And it helps a lot. For example, we at Bitpanda are in a very good position. And we're a financially healthy company. We've been historically profitable year over year, and we're not overexposed in any type of marketing activities that would cost us millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. And this helps in the agility of switching from one scenario to the other. And
can you tell us what is the scenario today? Like, how did you switch?
So I think that what's important, how did we switch? We're not looking at a big above the line spend right now due to the market sentiment because people are not responding the same way. But what we're doubling down on right now is product marketing, focusing like always to build a great product for our customers and make sure that we ship features and we ship fast. To quote Steve Jobs, real artists ship. We focus on community building and product evangelism and building a strong community around our brand. There are lots of creative opportunities to leverage, and we have a brilliant creative team that's working on it. We're working more on direct user acquisition than on the massive campaigns.
Mm-hmm. So if I well understand, it's like you are working. You're like not listening to the market. You are just working for the user.
No, we're always listening to the market, but we're also the user. I mean, the user needs to be first and foremost. It's a user-centric company, and in tech, the companies that succeed are just the user-centric companies. If you don't work for the user, you're doomed to fail sooner rather than later.
I agree. And talking about that, I was thinking it's a very complex product. It's not like a toothbrush or shoes or socks or even Uber was quite simple. So it's part of your job to evangelize a lot. Is it a big part of your budget? And because you also evangelize for the other companies doing that at the same time, you work for them too.
Yeah, so I think it's not, we're very accustomed to measuring things in terms of the money you spend. But the truth is that the real cost in terms of product evangelization is not the money. The real cost is the resources, the human resources that are involved in doing the proper evangelization. It means getting out there. It means meeting your community. It means being there on stage and off stage at different events to promote your product. This is not very expensive if you look at in terms of money, but it requires a great investment of time and passion in it. Then it's about user education, and here again, the biggest, we have a product that's called Bitpanda Academy, where we're doing, and we have different levels depending on your proficiency in the world of investing, with different type of classes. Again, it's not about the external costs. It's not about the millions you spend. It's about the time and the passion that you invest in these projects. And to be honest, if we look at the market, it's time and passion are scarcer than actual money.
Yeah, that's true. I watched the Bitpanda Academy. Very well done. Very well done. I also did the test and I failed. And for the beginners, so I feel like I have to work a lot. The second
we can
thing,
set up some practice, and it's the credit to our amazing content team who's been working on that.
Yeah, it's you can learn a lot of things. The only critics I have is when you fail, you don't have the answers of the 15 questions. So I don't know where I failed. I was like, whoa, what did I do wrong?
That's really good feedback, and we should look into that.
I know,
because the entire purpose is learning.
No, it's nothing. But I was like, where am I wrong? For me, in this market, being a user, the main thing is trust. How do you work on it in this such a dark world? Like, you know, I know it's not only cryptocurrencies, but it's a part of your business. How do you install trust in this dark world, you know?
Yeah, so you can't. So with trust, you either live it, you're either fully authentic, fully transparent, you're doing the right things and you're doing things right, or you're not doing it. You can't mimic trust. You can't, trust is not marketing. It's something that's inherent to your company, that's woven into the fabric of your company, or it's not. For us at Bitpanda, in order to build trust, we made it clear from the beginning, and our founders had a great vision from the beginning, and they were like, in a world that looks like the wild west, like the crypto trading world, we want to be the good guys. We want to work with regulators. We're not going to take markets by storm. We're going to engage with regulators. We're going to need to take all the regulatory approvals in order to make sure that we operate, that we safeguard our customers' assets, and that our customer assets are safe no matter what. This is what brings trust, because otherwise, no matter how much you talk about trust, it's about talking versus doing. With us at Bitpanda, we're registered with the Austrian AMF, we're FMA. We're registered with the French Autorité de Marché Financière. We're registered in Sweden, we're registered in Italy, we have our application ongoing with Spain, we have our application ongoing in Germany, we're registered in Sweden. So we're engaging with regulatory authorities, and this makes the entire process slower, and we don't grow as fast as we could if we were to disregard all the rules. But we're not like that. It's not about our company. So and this is where the trust comes from.
Very interesting. I will keep this part just for me and my that job.
Yeah, I mean, for trust, you can't fake it till you make it. You
I know, I agree.
Right,
I agree. I think that's Pentalog's philosophy too. But we have to work on it. I have another question. You have a lot of competitors, and so it's really hard to take over the market. So how to differentiate? What is the secret ingredient at Bitpanda, or maybe what is your secret ingredient?
So I think that indeed it's a highly competitive market that oftentimes, as I was telling you earlier, looks like wild west. I think that the key differentiator for Bitpanda is trust and being trustworthy. We're focused on being 100% regulated, and hence we offer our community safety. Then it's about the products that we offer and the product offering, and how we differentiate here. If you look at the product offering, again, we're working to build the widest range of digital assets available to European consumers on our platform. So basically, one-stop shop for turning Bitpanda into one-stop shop for all your investments. Then we have some products that are highly unique on the market, and I'm talking here about our crypto indices, where if you're not a crypto geek and you're passionate and you wanna get into the world of crypto, it's easier to invest in a crypto index, which basically functions like an ETF, but for crypto. And you invest in a slice of the crypto market instead of starting to research individual cryptocurrencies. So it's trust, it's a product differentiation, and it's doing the right things and doing things right.
Yeah. Good answer. Can see you're doing that well. In another interview, you were talking about the network effect. I like it because when you are a startup and you don't have 200 million fund, how do you make that network effect? How do you reach it? You know?
Yeah. So first, we need to define what the network effect is. And I think that if we look into the network effect, is the fact that your product becomes more valuable the more users are using the product. Talking about network effects and scaling and the hockey stick growth curves, everyone wants them, but these are simply not things that you can buy. I mean, with all due respect for all the marketers out there that love to throw money out the window, again, you can't fake it till you make it. You can't buy hyper growth. It all starts with a product. You need to have a really good product. You need to have a product that actually solves your customers' problems. And this is the first thing. The second thing, you need to build a strong community around your product. And again, I've seen brands that are paying for people to become brand ambassadors. You can't pay for love. I mean, you pay, but it's not sustainable. It's not on the long run. It's building a genuine community of product evangelists around your product. And only then, when you add on top a layer of marketing-driven growth, since you have a great product and you have a strong community around your product, you're going to get that to get to network effects, and you're going to get to the hockey stick growth curve that that all startups are dreaming about.
So you don't pay any influencers or things like that?
No, you can definitely. So it depends. It depends in what stage. If you talk about paying influencers and working with influencers, yes, they're a great channel, but it depends on the stage you're at. Because in the beginning, yes, you just have a product and let's pay 100 influencers to talk about it. It's not going to work. It's just going to generate sign-up spikes, and then everything is going to get back to normal. Plus, I think the influencer marketing strategy, it is abused today. So it's overused and abused today. First, you need to make sure that there's a brand fit between the particular influencers you're engaging and your brand. And there are a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that went viral with the wrong use of influencers. I don't know, using celebrities without a driving license to endorse a particular car. Then you need to make sure that the influencer that's recommending your product, and for me, this is essential. I don't want anyone talking about my product if they aren't using the product, because otherwise it's just transactional. I pay you 10 euros and you write an article. No, I want you to actually use that product, and I want you to actually do a product review that includes both the benefits, what you like about the product, and what you don't like about the product, because that's what makes it genuine and makes it authentic and gives you a voice. Otherwise, in the industry, I oftentimes see abusing the influencer marketing strategy, of course, with no long-term results and not leading to sustainable growth because it's inauthentic. And I think for me, and this is also related to my personal values. So I put a lot of value on authenticity, and I put a lot of value on being transparent. And you need to actually live these values. Again, it's not about, I oftentimes feel that people believe that, hey, if I write that article or if I craft the marketing strategy that way, it's going to lead people to believe something like this. And you can't fake it forever. You can fake it for a short period of time, and then it's going to backfire massively. So, I mean, my rule of thumb is don't pretend to be something that you're not, because it's going to fail.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Oh, we don't mind, I agree, but I agree.
No, I do.
I like people on the internet. I always think they are like a dog. They smell when it's fake. You know, they smell the danger. So don't do it.
Yeah, and it backfires so badly. And the question is, why would you like to pretend to be something else that you are?
Mm-hmm. Did you make mistake with Bitpanda? Some things you tried and didn't work, and that you can tell maybe?
So I think there are a lot. I'm trying to think about something that's a really good question. Oh, I did a lot of mistakes for sure. I did a lot of mistakes. I think that it's important. I mean, I don't call them mistakes. I call them experimentation. And my entire growth strategy is based on experimentation because it's a process of trial and error. We try things out, some fail and we learn, some succeed and we scale them. And it's a continuous process of experimenting. But I wouldn't necessarily call them mistakes. I think that a mistake that I've done as a leader was judging people how I judge myself. I'm very, very harsh on myself, and I'm a person that values a lot. I'm radically transparent, which might seem as an advantage, and but sometimes it's also a disadvantage because some people simply can't cope with the entire amount of information. And I'm also radically direct, which makes some people uncomfortable. And I'm trying to calibrate my voice as a leader in order to make sure that I'm inclusive and I'm encouraging people. I'm not intimidating people by being so direct, borderline blunt.
So you're learning to be like cool.
Yeah, so I think that we're all learning and growing. I think that in my leadership journey, that's what I'm working on now.
So and how do you stay? I mean, in the loop, technologically speaking, how do you work on that? Do you outsource, insource? How do you stay good on technological point?
So you're talking about technology?
Yes.
Building our tech?
Yes. Sorry for the bad question, bad English maybe.
No, definitely not the case. We could talk in French, but my French is completely horrible.
No, but I think the viewers speak English, so it would be nice for them. I would love it. But...
No, and my French is really, really terrible.
Okay.
So back to our tech, I think that it's a mix. We're working together with you, as far as I know. I don't have full visibility into that, but Lucas, our chief product officer, can give more context. I think that we have a big internal team because we're primarily a tech company, and whenever we wanna grow and develop faster than we could with the internal resources, we're choosing very reliable partners to work with.
And also for the growth team?
So for the growth team, I'm a firm believer in working internally. So most of the work is done internal. We've built a great team. That's why we're 100 people. And we rely on a handful of external partners that are really well chosen and are really our partners onto our growth journey.
Of course they are.
So I'm not a big fan of externalization because the dedication and commitment you're getting from your people who are there, who live and breathe the Bitpanda values, who are with you, and the passion can't be faked again.
I used to think that a lot before I met Pentalog. You know, I'm not an employee of Pentalog, so I watch them, and I know the people, even freelancers, who are exactly the same, have the same motivation because they stay 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. So now it looks like the same.
Yeah, but it's rather different because you're talking long-term projects. And again, I think Pentalog is rather the exception that confirms the rule than the rule in itself.
They are. It's okay. We'll have other days to speak about that. I had a tricky question on LinkedIn. You know, I posted asking people to have a question for you. So I like to ask one hard question, but I think you have the answer. The question was from Amaury Guenon, who said, in case of bankruptcy, no access to private keys, so no possibility to protect the funds on an external wallet, what are my guarantees?
So that's a really, really good question.
Yes.
And I think that relates to a massive scandal that followed a couple of weeks ago, when a publicly listed companies during their earning calls told that in the event of a bankruptcy, their customers are treated as unsecured creditors, so they might not see their assets again, which is quite worrisome for the customers. And this is why we do things differently. So first, we're not thinking bankruptcy, and we're not considering this is not an option. We've been profitable since we've I think started 2014, profitable since 2016. So bankruptcy is out of question. But in the unlikely case it happens, what we're doing is that we're acting as custodians for our customers' assets. We're not keeping the assets of our customers on our balance sheet. We're just a custodian for the customer's assets, and this means that the assets, in case of bankruptcy, fully belong to our customers. And this is what is called the right of separation under Austrian law. I wish I could tell you more about the right of separation and the legalese, but for this I need to invite my legal colleague to get into the details.
No, but I think we get the point, and that's interesting to hear that. You know, even for me, because I opened an account yesterday, so small account, but still. Thanks for your honesty, and I see that Hamori is watching and said ask. Thanks for asking. So everyone is happy. We are going to the end because it's going fast with you. I like it. My last question is more at a personal level, now that we are intimate. It's a joke, frank joke. How can you manage to have a balanced life in working in a unicorn, having your responsibilities? I don't know what is your life, but how can you manage that today? Yeah, do you try to do it?
My personal life is revolves around my 3-year-old toddler and my husband, who's really supportive. I think that whoever says that, hey, you can have it all, lies. You can't have it all. You know, those moms with 4 kids and executive positions and that are going to the gym. Yeah, I don't know them either because they don't exist. And if you see them on social media, it's just, you see just a part of their life, and you don't see the trade-offs and the sacrifices they make behind. I think work-life balance is a very, very delicate concept. First, I think the HubSpot CEO wrote an article recently as she was talking about the fact that she hates the word work-life balance, because having balance there means there's a conflict. There's an inherent conflict between work and life. I think there's no such thing as one size fits all. It's challenging. Being in a hyper growth environment means also being intense. Means also it's not the regular 9-to-5 job, but it's very important to understand what works for you and how you can balance this. For us at Bitpanda, in order to make sure that everyone is able to reach their balance and we don't burn people out, we have a very flexible policy. So basically, we have flexible working hours. We have a hybrid working model where people can come to the office or not come to the office, and we have unlimited holidays and 2 recharge breaks per year, such that everyone in the company takes time off in the same time, such that they can stay away without fear of missing out. For me personally, it's taking frequent holidays. So I'm going the extra mile. I would like to say that I'm working 40 hours weeks, but what's very important for me, whenever I'm working from home, I'm always having lunch with my kid. I'm always putting my kid to bed. I'm never ever working Sundays. I mean, unless something burns, but nothing is as urgent. And if something burns, normally 112 is a better option to call than any person in the team. And I'm taking 1 holiday per quarter. So I'm doing that in order to fully recharge, and then I travel with my family. But yet again, I don't think it's a success recipe. It's about what matters for everyone. For some persons, it's important to have to pick up their kids from kindergarten. For some other person, it's about having weekends completely off for themselves. And there's no right or wrong. It's just what's right or wrong for you.
Good. Thank you very much. Really, it was very interesting. A lot of good answers. I would like to rewatch it because I learned things. Thank you very much for your honesty.
I'm talking too fast.
No, it's cool. It's fast. It's clear. You don't hesitate. You can see you know how to do this job. And I guess you do a lot of interviews and events. It's part of your job, I guess.
I'm doing fewer and fewer lately because I'm also the type of person that enjoys to spend quality time with the laptop and get work done and
Okay.
spend FaceTime with the team, which is very important. Right now, I'm in our Vienna office, although the setup doesn't look very professional. That's because I work on a bin bag in a corner.
It's fine. It's beautiful. Thank you very much, and hope to see you maybe next year at the same time to see what happened.
Thanks a lot for the time. It was a pleasure being here with you, and happy to talk whenever we can figure out some time.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Have a
And
great
thank
one.
you, everyone. Thank you for the
Thank you.
watchers.
Bye.
Bye.